Pakistan hosted a peace talk. The world watched. India stayed silent. Critics went wild. Where is the Vishwaguru? Why is New Delhi sidelined while Islamabad plays kingmaker? But while everyone watched the spotlight, India was doing something far more permanent. India was building a world where it would never need to sit at anyone else's table again. Today we will show you why India's silence isn't a weakness. It is the most calculated move of the decade. Dear friends, you're watching Neutral Scope. I am Naeem Sidhu. I'll keep this brief to respect your time. All I ask is that you watch until the final chapter, as the most critical piece of this geopolitical puzzle comes at the very end. Now let's see what's Islamabad Illusion. April 12th. Islamabad was the center of the world for 21 hours. Pakistan brokered a ceasefire between the US and Iran. The media narrative was instant. Pakistan is the new kingmaker. India has lost the West Asia. So here is the truth. A ceasefire is a photo op with a short shelf life. It isn't an oil supply, a trade route, or a technical deal. The real question isn't why India was absent. It is what India was doing instead. Now let's talk about the broker versus builder. There are two types of nations, brokers and builders. Before we dive deeper, I want to address something. In my last video about why Pakistan could be a strategic shield for the UAE, many of my Indian friends got quite angry. But like always, I say on this channel, I'm here for the hard facts and the cold realities beyond any nationalistic fervor. If you want the truth, you have to be willing to look at from all sides. Now, for my viewers in Pakistan, the next part might be equally tough to hear. But again, we are looking at the data. Diplomacy wins you the day, but infrastructure wins you the century. A broker manages the fire. They earn applause, then wait for the next crisis. Their power is visible and temporary. A builder makes themselves fireproof. They secure energy, lock down tech, and build trade routes. Their power is invisible and permanent. Pakistan in April is the broker, and it deserves credit for that. Hosting the US and Iran at the same table is a masterclass in diplomacy. India has made a different choice. India is no longer interested in brokering other people's problems. India is building the power to never need a broker itself. Now, let me tell you, what is the $7-10 billion shield? Let's look at the numbers. India entered 2026 with foreign exchange reserves near $710 billion. Think of this as a nation's emergency savings. It protects against currency collapse and oil price shocks, while neighbors are navigating brutal IMF adjustments. Economic surgery without anesthesia. Surgery without anesthesia. India isn't in that room. With a $4 trillion economy, India can absorb the shocks that cripple others. This is what financial independence looks like. The world wondered, why is India silent? Referring to crisis in West Asia, let me count. How many reasons of Indian silence? 1, 2, 3, no, 10 million reasons. 10 million reasons for silence. And I'm referring to India has nearly 10 million workers in Gulf. Every worker is a diplomatic chip. Every family back home is watching the news. When Defense Minister Rajnath Singh said India would act when the time is right, that was prescient. India is running quiet, consular diplomacy. A loud statement that angers Tehran or Riyadh doesn't just affect policy, it endangers 10 million families in Hyderabad, Kochi, and Lucknow. This is a responsible great power behavior. It keeps people safe. Now let's see how India sails alone. Yes, alone. When the Red Sea and the Strait of Hormuz became dangerous, the West scrambled for naval coalitions. India said no. Instead, India deployed its own independent naval escorts. And what was the message? India doesn't need a command structure. We protect our own ships. While global shipping fell apart, Indian flagged vessels moved with consistency. It wasn't the luck. Navy that has become one of the most capable in the Indo-Pacific. It was because of that. Now let's talk about the voyages began. While cameras were on Islamabad, the South Korean president was in New Delhi signing the voyages began. It's a blueprint for total technology transfer. South Korea leads in advanced shipbuilding and semiconductors and AI. Through voyages, India is negotiating the ability to fabricate semiconductors and build cargo ships on Indian soil. India is shifting from an economy that buys technology to one that owns it. Moving a little further, let's see the European lung and China lesson. Next month in May, Prime Minister Modi visits Norway, Sweden, the Netherlands, and Italy. This is a resource mission with green hydrogen and deep sea minerals. It's a new oil. Let me tell you briefly about green hydrogen. Green hydrogen is produced by using renewable energy like solar or wind to split water into hydrogen and oxygen through a process called electrolysis. Unlike traditional hydrogen made from fossil fuels, this method releases zero carbon emissions, making it the holy grail of clean energy. For a country like India, it's the key to powering heavy industries and shipping without relying on imported oil or gas. In Italy, India is going to finalize the European Union Free Trade Agreement access to 440 million high-spending consumers. It creates a secondary lung, an economic artery that keeps India breathing, even if Middle East routes are choked. You know, China brokered the Saudi-Iran deal in 2023, but it was for the headlines. The deal is now under strain. China earned the photo op, but India is, earning lasting stability. Now let's summarize what I mentioned. Is India losing its grip on West Asia? No, it's showing maturity. Chasing headlines is the broker's game. Brokers win news cycles, building a semiconductor industry, securing green energy, and protecting 10 million citizens. That is the builder's game. Builders win decades. India has chosen to be a builder. The nation that controls technology and maritime routes will sit at very important table, not because they asked for a seat, but because no conversation can happen without them. This is the difference. The world is changing, and the old rules of diplomacy are being rewritten by those who have the courage to stay quiet and build. If you found this analysis valuable, let me know your thoughts in the comments. We are witnessing the rise of a truly independent global power. I'm Naeem Sidhu. Thank you for watching Neutral Scope. I'll see you in the next one.